tour of the Bahamas today. It is a little overcast. Clouds are at about 2,500, so we'll keep our altitudes low. Uh, Anybody watching, it's going to be me, Dusty, who you guys are familiar with, and I only know you as Bobo, so Bobo will also be joining us. Bob, right, I know that because you sent me something. Yes, Bob. So he's not really a clown, I don't think. I mean, he might be. I don't really know. Uh, we do have a friend here who's actually a legal registered. He went to Clown Academy, which I find amusing. He's a doctor of all things. He's actually an educator, but he has his MD. He went to clown school, got his MD, and then did practice for a few years, and then went into higher education. Kind of an interesting turn of events for life. Dusty should be joining us any minute. He's just messaged me and said he was on his way. So I'm idling in position 6 on the ramp, so if you spawn there, you'll be on top of me. But other than that, we should be good. Yep. And we usually, my plan has us hopping to a bunch of little airstrips, and then we end at another one. And usually it's about 2 hours, but you can pop out in and out anytime, you know. Oh yeah. It's funny because I built the whole Echo at like 5 o'clock. I had people coming over at 6. I'm like, I can do this in an hour, and I did. It was no problem. Got it all, slapped it all together. I had a problem with some of the screws, but I talked to is it Paul, the shake print guy? And he was like, "Yeah, those aren't that important. You can skip those." I'm like, "Okay." So my screen is held on by 3 screws, but it's totally stable, and my board is held on by 3 screws, and it's totally stable. So it's like fine. So I get it all together. I get it all together about, yeah, they wouldn't thread it, and I don't have the patience to do it. So I was just like, you know what, it's working. So um, anyway, my friends came over. We had D&D night last night. About 9 o'clock, my wife comes in. She goes, "You got a package?" And it was the dual encoder that she sent me. so I'm like, okay, well, guess what? I'm not putting in tonight. I have noticed the Echo continually gives me oil pressure warnings, even when I don't have an oil pressure problem. Yep. 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 Oh, it's fine. Got it. Yep. I just did it while we were talking. Okay. Yeah. I can't wait for the day when Sim Connect is up to par where he can just dump that SPAD thing, because that's kind of a pain in the butt. I know it does a lot. I know it does a lot, and I appreciate that. But it's just like I say, it's just so. I don't like the fact that I can't. If I launch it prior to actually being sitting in the cockpit, it doesn't like pull my tail number properly and other stuff. Yeah, that's fine. But if I exit back to the menu and start a new flight, I have to kill SPAD and do that again. It seems like. Yeah, yeah. Which is, again, it's not a big deal, but it's just one of those things that it's a little bit of a niggle to me as I'm flying. You know, I I am I am the worst that way. So I'm gonna, right. Right. Yep. It will. It will. But like just being able to use a dial for things like altitude, vertical, and heading, just that alone made this whole thing worth it to me. That's the whole reason I wanted it. Well, keep yeah, keep in mind though, most of the planes I fly are small and low altitude, so it's not like I'm spinning it up to 30,000 feet most of the time, right? I'm spinning it up to like 6,000. Yeah, because I can't get nothing in the GPS tab works for me at this point, in any plane that I'm in. No, and that's why. Yeah. Well, he said they're gonna have a final build in like 2 weeks, so I was like, you know what, I can live without the GPS page for 2 weeks. Yeah, right. That'll be really nice. Yeah, right. Yeah, we usually fly at about 115, 120 knots. So with the 172, you're going to have her pretty pegged, but you'll be able to do it. I tend to take off and forget. I'm in a 182, the 182T. So, so if I'm not careful, I zoom off at 150 and have to back off. He's in the Cub with an enhanced engine, the 215 horsepower engine. He cruises at about 125, 130. But again, we usually try to fly at around 100, 110, 115. So it's a Carenado. I really like it. It's kind of the GPS in it and stuff is a little bit of a hybrid. It doesn't have the synthetic vision, but it is a G1000 other than that. And then all the AP controls are down on a separate panel like they were in the old days, on the regular 172. So I like it. It's a very fun plane to fly, and it's got great climb. It'll climb at 1,200 feet all day long, and I'm talking at 110 knots, right up. But it but I don't yellow line till 150, so I usually cruise at like 130, 135 if I'm flying alone. Again, when we're doing groups, I scale that back a little because I don't want to be blowing everybody away. I did the Baron for one of the flights we did, and I couldn't keep it down. I'm like, okay, guys, under 150, this plane sucks. I can't do this. Mooney, because we have a guy who comes in a Mooney. Oh. Well, I one of ours today is a soft too, so yeah. That's what I usually fly, but when I'm flying with Dusty, I tend to do the 182 just so if he gets crazy, I can do stuff too. So when we do New Zealand, there's a lot of steep climbs out of some of these strips, and the 172 just gets difficult for that. For the Bahamas, I could have done the 172; would have been fine. I'm at 6. Yeah, and you want to make sure that you're on USA West server, which is up under where your name is, up the top. No, if you haven't loaded in yet, you know where you set the weather? It's in that tab. It's in that screen. You set it to all players. I always start clear skies and then turn on weather because weather's funky otherwise. All players, and then USA West. Yeah. Yes. Otherwise, you can't see the people. Somebody's sitting there next to me in a blue 172. Maybe. I don't know. I'm going to turn on labels, so I'll be blipped out for just a second while I do that. Traffic labels on. Oh, it's an AI plane. It's not a real person. Okay. I think it'll be on top of an AI plane in mine, but that doesn't matter. Oh no, there you are. Sarge Ski. Okay. Yep, I see you. The plane just materialized. Alright. As soon as you're started up, I'm going to start my roll up to the end of the runway. We'll be using the other end of the runway, so we'll do a back taxi. Because the winds are 107, and this is 32 or 140. 32 or 14, so we're going to want to be coming down the other way. Minimize the crosswind. With Dusty's X-Cub, he's very sensitive to crosswinds. That plane is so light it just gets thrown about. I'm just on the taxiway now. I just taxied up a little bit. Was that Dusty I just heard pop in? Good morning. Good afternoon. It's alright. We have new blood with us. Oh, I'm about to block somebody on chat. Port. Spam. When you spawn in, Dusty, we're going to be taxiing to runway 14, back taxi, because the wind is 106 at 13, so that gives us the least crosswind. And I'm going to be trying my new Class Echo for this flight. Flying with my Class Echo. That's that device I was showing you guys a couple weeks ago. Yep. I used it. I built it last night and used it a little bit this morning. Bob here is he built me a dual encoder that I can to put on it, which I'll be putting on sometime in the next week or two. Right now it's a single dial that you push in. This will give me the outer dial. It's a pretty nice little device. Ended up being about, without the dual encoder, ended up being about $240 in parts and software. That's pretty much one and done. There's not really anything to add. And then it's a little small. Yeah. It is. It is. And then the dual encoder was, what were the parts for that? About $50, Bob? Okay. And Bob assembled it 1.4. Bob assembled it for me because there was soldering involved, and I don't have any soldering crap anymore. So. He's spawning up there. Well, I just see you as a stock one anyway. Oh, or do you have something a little more special now? Yeah, because the one you've been flying when I've been with you before shows up fine. It just shows up, doesn't have your red paint job, that's all. And we are streaming today, just so you know. Yep. There's no turnaround, so I'm just going to pull into the grass to turn around. Although this runway's plenty wide. Yeah. I mean, with the wind, maybe you could. With that light little bird. Oh, did you? What'd you buy? Like the Toyota Echo? Oh, the EcoSport. EcoSport. Okay. I thought about the Eco. What is it called? Eco Premium Mustang was one that I looked at last time I was buying. Mustang convertible with the EcoBoost. All right, we ready to roll? Throttling up. Bob's in a 172, Dusty, so we have to not, try not to ditch him. Of course, you're probably. I'm in my 182. Yeah, you're probably already in the air, so. I just went under you. go back. Did you turn around already? Oh yeah, there you are. Okay. I saw you kind of go up over as you did that. Yeah. All right, I'm going to start my turn to about a 120. Actually, I'm going to go down. I'm going to go to a 090 and head over to these islands, and I'm going to island hop all the way down to MYXI rather than doing the rather than staying on the main island. You follow me? I'm going 1500 for now. I'll figure it out from there. One thing about this 182, I can lean the heck out of it. Can really, really drop the fuel flow. Oh, we have the nice water finally. Look at that off to our left. Nice, pretty light blue water textures. Oh, some ahead too. How is it at 2000? Are you bumping the clouds yet? Okay, because they were 2,500 when I looked, but I think I'll come up to 4,000 or to 2,000. I'm 090 to over to these islands, and then I'll probably do like a 120-ish down the strip of islands. I just slowed way down. I'm down to about 90 now, so. Yep. I usually climb at 75 in that. But I'll slow up once I level up at 2,000 feet here. I'm at 74 as I'm climbing because I dropped the throttles back to get a little easier. You're gaining on me slowly, I can see it. There's another one down low that's not labeled. It's got a very I posted like everywhere that I am to, hey, if you want to join a flight. I almost switched to the 172 No, not really. Yeah, I'm only doing 100 knots right now, Bob. So you should be able to catch up. I looking back, you're definitely gaining on me now. So, all right, I'm gonna try to level out at around 110. I'm at 2,000 feet. And then, of course, in a few minutes, I'll start descending down to MYXI anyway, so. I have to figure out where the right throttle sweet spot is at this speed. I'm used to flying differently. Yep. that is called Scotland K. And yeah, clouds at 2,500, elevation 2 feet. It is a hard runway. Runway length is 3,000 feet. So that should be a pretty easy landing. Runway 13, so we're coming right in at the right angle too. Nick, are you watching? I just saw you in chat. Sorry. I had to block one guy already. One bot, probably. And probably steal my identity at the same time. I'm over here to MYXI. I don't know where the hell you guys are going. I'm on my way to the island. Yeah. You got what? You guys are way out there. Pretty steady at 110 right now, so. Twitch sent me an email after I blocked that guy. Received my report. They actioned on my report. And it was a violation. Enforcement has been taken. In other words, the guy's account got wiped. Start descending. This airport's right at the end down there of the of this key. Yeah, there you guys are right behind me. Back off at around 1,000 feet. Maybe 900 feet. Mm-hmm. 800 feet. More throttle here. Scotland K. Let's see if I can get this right. Scotland K red says November 41330. About flight of 3, about 4 miles north, entering final. So, okay. Oh, to land. Full stop. This is the kind of place I'd love to live, right on that little K down there. I didn't say I wanted to work while I lived there. Sit on the beach and just live life, the island life, you know? Internet would suck, so I wouldn't have that. At least I assume it does. It was pretty bad when I was at a resort in the Bahamas a few years ago. There you go. That's true. Starlink is really going to change places like that. Dusty hasn't had his coffee yet. That's interesting. It's like a little hook on the end of this runway. I have scenery for it, so I might be seeing it a little different than you guys. Like I see a fence line next to it too. Yeah. "67 feet per minute. Nice. Clear the runway. Yeah, I got a nice little fence line and buildings. Just stop for a second to reset my trims and stuff. Everybody down? All right, let's back taxi up and start on for the next one. Unless you need to run into the little airport there and use the little boys' room before we go. Perfect. I just drilled a hole in the floor of the plane to put a funnel. It's not much of a cross though. I guess in your plane that matters. I'm like 6 knots is not a lot. I saw somebody was flying a modded or a bot or something X Cub that had front gear. Super Cub or something like that. That's what it was, the NX Cub, yeah. Yep. Alright, I'm rolling. 40 knots. So Dusty's already halfway to the altitude. I'm up. Climbing out. Trying to climb a little less aggressively this time. I'm going to make a left circle as I gain altitude. For this one, I was going to cut straight across. But if you guys want to follow the islands, we can. I just seem like looks like it's going to be about a 195 or so once I circle. Yeah, I did a left turn like you're supposed to. I wanted to. I didn't want to tell anybody. Didn't want to tell anybody though, it was a secret. Yeah, I'm getting stall warnings because I cut the throttle back so I wouldn't climb too fast. Now now the plane's unhappy with me, but thankfully this plane has the power to pull out of it. Plus I figured by circling it gave Bob a chance to get up in the air. Where is he, by the way? Oh, there you are. Okay. Why am I still climbing? Working on it. There we go. Mike Yankee Alpha Mike. Marsh Harbor. What's Marsh Harbor looking like? Marsh Harbor wants us to land on runway 9er. Gosh, it's right there. Yeah, I guess we could check that if we wanted to be, And I'm starting my descent. I'm going to turn left into a straight in for this, rather than overflying the circle. I have a lot of trouble trimming this plane for some reason. If I fly it enough, you'd think I'd have it figured out. Definitely not as exciting as Mountain Moves, but I have a new plan. I'm going to start in either April or May, so a new area to explore. I don't want to announce it on stream yet. I'm committed to it. just overfly? Oh, runway 9. Shit, I was on my way to 27. I hope Bob wasn't following me because I was doing it wrong. Marsh Harbor says no one. Let's try this again. Marsh Harbor, red Cessna 413. Entering downwind for runway 29 full stop. Final for you. Usually you dive at the runway. That's what she said. 100 knot wind? Oh. I was gonna say you're just in place in the air at that point. Alright, I'm coming in a little hotter than I'd like to, but I'm going too fast to flaps. Some speed, get that nose up a little. Oh yeah, we'll be fine. Shot it a little wide. A little jerky there. Oh look, proper taxiways. What a novelty. Something's bouncing me around. Yeah, 12 knot headwind, wow. Nice to land into a proper headwind for a change. 80 knots. Nose up. A little harder than I'd like. Still got applause. I never said I was good at this, just said I like doing it. I'm assuming you're parked there because you don't intend to use the rest of the runway. Oh. Next leg at least a little longer. No, next leg's oh yeah, next leg's 37. Good. Okay. I was just gonna say. Pressure's changed to 29 or 9 or 5, just so you know. Not that I got that by bashing the B key or anything like that, but. Oh, okay. And I'll hold down here on the runway. I gotta say, it's run really well since I switched to Ultra. I almost feel like it's smoother than it was when I had it quote-unquote optimized manually. And it looks better. Especially with the add-on. I did from flightsim.to, there's an add-on that changes the paint on the runways and on the taxiways. So they're not quite so vibrant, they look a little more real. And it helps a lot, yeah. Yeah, like there'll be little skid marks on them sometimes and things like that. I'm running it. I've run it since day one. Yeah. Yeah, that mod works really good. And there's still good variation. Like I'm sitting right now on the runway and most of the trees are, relatively consistent. Then there's the occasional one that's just really high, so it looks realistic. It doesn't look like they faked it and just leveled all the trees. You ready to roll? No, he's Bozo. I'm not. That's him. He's the one that's Bozo. Or Bobo, sorry, not Bozo. Wrong clown. Yep, 400 feet. 500 feet. I'm going to come all the way up to 2,000 this time. When I hit 1,000, I'll start my bank. Settle in at about 200. Go right down the middle of this island, basically. Yeah, I looked to see if there were any Sky Park missions I could piggyback on this, but there weren't any, unfortunately. Sometimes when we're doing our group flights, I get lucky and there's one I can do at the same time. Oh, sorry. Going off like a rocket again. Bring that throttle back. Four gallons per hour, and I'm doing 115 knots. I'm just leveling everything out now, though. It'll be using a little more like about 5, maybe 110 knots, 5. About 5 gallons per hour. For those watching on camera, I have my my co-pilot here with me. His name's Oliver. You don't want me up here right now, do you, buddy? Okay. How was your weekend away last weekend, Dusty? Good. Good. So what I've got us doing, just so you know, is flying down almost to the bottom tip of this island and then looping back to Sandy Point. Okay? Just because there's like a national park down there and I didn't know if there'd be something to see. So this is a little bit longer of a leg than the others. This leg combined is about 48 nautical miles. If anybody's low on fuel, make sure you check it when we stop. I filled up tanks to full, so I'll be able to do the whole thing. Especially as little fuel as I'm using. I'm only doing 112 knots. I see you guys back there. It's like when Blues comes out and he's in his Mooney, he just does circles around us the whole time. Bob was saying he's gotten pretty good at slow flying the TBM now. Which you can bring that sucker down pretty slow. Well, my co-pilot's back. This time he's decided to sit on the table next to me or stand on it. Hey, buddy. You can't be on me right now, not while I'm flying. I know that's what you want. You want to stand on my lap. That's not going to happen. Nope. It's not going to happen. Things we have to put up with. Are you guys catching up, or do I need to slow it up some more? I'm at just about 110, so you guys should gain up. You should pick me up well before that turn. So. Down a little bit. You're not getting on my lap. I'm afraid if I turn my back on you, you'll sneak down there. 4? What are you at for an altimeter? Yeah, you look about 300 feet above. Why do you have to pick when I'm doing stuff to want to get on my lap to be friendly? Because you're a cat. You just pick the most inconvenient times, right? Yeah. Yeah. This will be 12 this summer. It's getting old. Now there's cat hair all over everything on my desk. My laptop. Because you shed when you're happy. I don't know why, but you shed when you're happy. Sometimes when I'm working, he will like lay on my arm while I'm typing. Like, you're not giving me enough attention, so I'm going to just lay on the arm that you're using. What did you hear? You should go check it out. What is that? Maybe she's getting you food, Oliver. Go see if she's getting you food. Ha! It worked. He's going to go check it out. Alright, back to the Bahamas. Looks like we got a lot of jungle there, huh? I guess if nothing else, it's nice to have all the metrics on this device without me having to go look for them. It's eliminated a lot of my panning around that I do, which, Dusty, you've seen how I do that on my streams. I'm constantly like moving the camera around to look at instruments, and I don't have to anymore because it's on this thing. Like I can see right now. I mean, the stuff I'm looking at right now is pretty much in view anyway, but things like if I want to adjust my trim, I can see where the trim is on this, so I don't have to look down at the wheel. Yes. Yeah. It pops them out into a separate window, which means you can then move them to another screen. Yep. It's handy because in the X-Cub you kind of do have to. You have to kind of pan down to see all that when you're flying from the default position. So it's nice to be able to do that. Looks like the clouds are lightening up here too. Something over here kind of like that. Oh, you're on the other side of it, yeah. There's some buildings over here right near the water in a little weird harbor. Like it looks like a man-made harbor. It was interesting when we visited the Bahamas because as soon as you leave the resort, it really is a different world. It is definitely feels very third world. Plus, they driving around the side of the road. Yeah. But a lot of the vehicles come from America, so they're driving, and the driver is literally in the, because these little narrow roads too. So the driver is like sitting in the gutter as he drives down the road. And like we were on a bus to go to an excursion we were doing, and they'd meet up with a car, and both of them would have to like pull half off the road to get by each other. And the bus driver is literally looking at trees that are bouncing off the windshield in front of him as he does this. I'm just like, this is crazy. Right. I could ask. I've got a friend who grew up in the Bahamas, and her father was military, so they lived everywhere. And he was, at the end of his career, he was DEA, so he was stationed in the Bahamas. And he's a helicopter pilot. She learned to drive. That's where she learned to drive, was in the Bahamas. She said when she first came to Texas, it was like the roads were huge. Yeah. And she says to this day I tend to drive on the left side of whatever lane I'm in. I'm on the right lane, but I'm always kind of like hugging the left side of it out of habit, because even though she's been here for over 10 years now, she's been here about 13 years now, so, but it's still, her brain still thinks I gotta stay to the left. And she was driving mostly left drive cars down there. So it's not like she has that to help reorient herself, you know? Like if you like, I have a friend from the UK who will come over and visit, and he has no problem adapting. And I said, why? He says, because everything's on the opposite side. All my controls, yeah, my mirror's opposite, my shift gear, my shift lever's on the opposite side. He says, because I have to flip everything, it's easier for him to adapt. I don't know if I could do left drive. I mean, I'm sure I could. I'm sure it'd be the same. I'd get there, and after a few minutes, I'd be fine. Right. When we get to Sandy Point, it looks like it's runway 9 there as well. I think. Information. Runway 11. Yeah. So probably start my turn in about 4 minutes, somewhere in there. You went up high again. When you're this close, it looks like you're a lot more than you are. Like the disparity looks bigger. I think around 2,000 is good for this area. Flying, just because you can see things better, and it's not like you're trying to squeeze between mountains either. So. Over there, did you see that? I still don't like how it doesn't give me their distance. It tags up. Range and bearing to target so I can properly shoot at them. I can see the airport off to our right there. I don't know if there's a town over there or what. Or what. Ow! Oh, ow, ow! Oh, another one just tried to jump on my lap. Except he did so a little more violently. I don't know where he went. You up top? That's his usual haunt. No, he ran away because I yelled at him. So as graceful as a bull in the china shop. Alright, I'm going to start my turn. Go to head up toward that airport. I think I need to be much more precise than that about it. Around the 310 it looks like to get up there. Water mask isn't as good as I was hoping it would be down here after the update. It's better than it was, but it's not. Not as vibrant as I was hoping for. I don't know what's realistic though, I guess, from these altitudes. So I don't know if you saw the note, Dusty. I have it's first Sunday of the month, so I probably won't be flying tomorrow. I have that's the one Sunday every month that I generally have something going on. I thought it was canceled for this month, but it was not. So I didn't find that out until late last night. I've been trying to ping Creative Confused Dad, but he hasn't been responding to my pings lately. I was trying to find out what he was doing. I know it's late for him when we fly. village at the end of that little peninsula up there. Can't wait till we get to Great Exuma, that island down here, because that's where I flew into before in real life. And I mean, I've looked at it a little bit in the sim, but I want to see how that island looks for real. By Georgetown. I think that's in the next session. I have these a little bit too much, almost too much figured out ahead of time. Alright, what's the name of this airport? Sandy Point. Sandy Point traffic. Red Cessna 41330. Cross. Flying cross. Runway 11 to land. Flight of 3, Sandy Point. Sure, I screwed that up somehow. Sounded good to me. Bob, you've been quiet. You've been quiet. Tired from car shopping? Well, yeah, of course you wanted it today. That doesn't make her much different than most. Still get a little bit that way, and I've bought like 36 cars in my life, so new cars. Never mind used ones that I had before that. Yeah, 18 is, I mean, effectively. Wow. I just traded in a 19 that had a little less than 11,000 miles on it. And I only did it because they called me and said, "Do you want to turn it in? We'll give you we'll buy it back from you for $1,000 less than you paid a year and a half ago, or almost 2 years ago." I was like, "Yes, I will do that." Yep. Yeah, well, that's why they said my car was in a high enough demand where they're like, "We'll give you a lot of money if you want to do it now." Because I wasn't going to trade for another year or two, probably. But they showed me the money, so I did. But then I got picky about the new one. I'm like, okay, but you got to get me into one of these, this color, these features. And I ended up buying a 2020 leftover, so I bought mine for $5,000 under what it would be if it was, current year model. Yep. You gonna fuel up, Dusty? Nice landing. Smooth. I think mine was about 70 feet per minute, which is pretty good for me. No, it's 10 knots from 102. That's what I show. It's about what it was when I landed. Really? What do you have, Bob? You can do that. You can go ahead and do that if that's the way it's lining up for you, but it's not for me, that's for sure. You don't want to take off with a tailwind? Thought that plane of yours was like magical or something, could do that. How disappointing. It's because your plane has no mass. I have noticed that. I have noticed the aura sometimes, yeah. Somebody said it's something to do with... Yes, I forget. Somebody said there was a checkbox or something you could do to change it, but it had side effects, of course, you know. I forget what the deal with that was. It seems like when it's like rainy or foggy conditions, I see it more. Yep. Yeah. Because they were outlined. Yeah. That's what I think they said it was. If you turned off HDR, it would go away. But then somebody was like, "Yeah, but then something else." Right. How was icing up there for you, Dusty, in those mountains with the snowy conditions? Really? I forgot not everybody always flies real weather live weather real time. That would drive That would drive my CDO crazy. I know. I assume that right now in the Bahamas there's a 182T doing exactly what I do. Yeah. Why not? There's no Bush Talk radio events for this flight that I'm doing today. That's become like my favorite add-on. There's a little island off to our left there. It doesn't look like it's inhabited. Castaway Key. Okay. That's why I excluded it, because it was closed. Creative. That's how the naming was when I lived in New England. Like the town I grew up in, okay? We had River Street. Guess what it ran next to? Yeah, we had South Street. It's on the south side of town. Between River Street and Cross Street was between River Street and South Street was Cross Street. Church Street had 3 churches on it. Yep. Northfield Road went to Northfield. Gill Road went to Gill. I grew up on I don't know, it's where the town hall was too, so I don't know. It was the equivalent of Main Street. There was no Main Street. I grew up on Bald Mountain Road, which went up the side of Bald Mountain, which to a Westerner you'd go, no, that's an anthill, but you know, I think its peak was 1,400 feet above sea level. Maybe 1,600. But yeah, it was super creative naming on everything up there. Oh, you're talking about MYXB, the closed one? Yeah. It is showing up in the sim, but a little nav map shows it as closed. You do a flyover of it on our next leg. Right. I mean, it'll be there. I'm sure it'll be there, but it looks like we might want to drop a little altitude. Yeah, I'm going to come down to 1,500. Bahamas. And no, I'm not doing any aerobatics for you. So it looks like runway 9 when we get to Moore's Island. Yeah, those look. Left traffic runway 9. Oh, is it 10? I thought it was 9. I have to glance real quick at it. They must service all these little islands by boat, because like that island over there has got buildings and stuff on it. What island? We're about to land on. It's called Moore's Island. And I think this airport is actually called Hard Bargain, even though, or this town is called Hard Bargain. Grand use. Am I? See, I'm not getting aura right now. Which is weird, because I have been getting it historically. I mean, I do tend to have an aura around me, so... the aura of awesome. Red says no following the guy who just said he was landing. Is this the... This is the soft runway. No, I'm not going to follow you quite that closely. It says it's a soft runway, but that doesn't look soft to me. Look, maybe it's gravel. I don't have time to flip screens and go look, but or bituminous. Bituminous shows as soft. Yeah, I don't pull these tight landings you do. I probably could with this plane, but I don't. I get too nervous. I think I overshot. Undershot. Don't follow me, Bob. It's not going to be healthy for you. No, but I almost plummeted into the island because I lost so much airspeed. Okay, engines at idle. Should be able to do this without flaps. That's the way I like it. If I need flaps and it was too short of a runway. Oh, this is gravel or something. It's a mess down here. Down, down, down. Not one of my better ones. Oh, 12 feet per minute. I guess it was one of my better ones, despite that wobble at the end. Just pretend that didn't happen. It's not like anybody saw it on camera or anything. Dusty used her like a quarter of the runway. Alright, I'm clear of the runway. I'm going to taxi up on the grass here. Stops. This one is Cistern K. Are you? I haven't got any yet. Yeah, 3.5 nautical miles. Yeah. Only because I wanted to hit that lace soft strip for you, Dusty. I added that in. I was gonna go right to Great Harbor, but I saw that soft strip and I'm like, he won't want to overfly that. He'll want to stop. So. I think it's if there's moisture in your air, yeah. This is like 37 nautical miles. It's a good one. I'm going to head over toward that Castaway Key and see what that. Okay, just overfly that on our way down. Because why not? Just overfly it. Just for ha-has. Oh, I'm getting some rain now too. A few droplets. 1500 is where I'm going off. I have used less than 10% of my fuel so far. This plane's incredible that way. Super efficient. Yeah, I don't think I've used that much. I've still got 40 in my tanks, and my first notch of like knowing it's gone down is at 35. So I mean, yeah. Let's put the throttle on here. Let's fix that altitude. not like there's anything to hit out here, so. Yeah, 4 gallons per hour is my current burn rate. Now that I've learned how to use the red knob properly, I do pretty well that way. As well as boosting it up when I'm trying to climb at high altitude. I had that the other day. I had a flight in the 172 where I needed to go to 10,000 feet. And oh my god, did I use a lot of fuel. By the time I was leveled off, I'd used like a third of my fuel. It was a 100-mile flight and I barely made it. I used so much fuel to run that plane up at 10,000 feet. So did you, Bob, did you guys come home with the car? So your daughter's happy? And yeah, it ain't a bad start. I think my first car was $800. It was a six-year-old Honda Accord. That's good. Well, that was the thing. I like my car. I bought mine has a 3 or 36,000 because it was new, right? But they offered me. They tried to sell me a 72-month 100,000 mile because that covers all the electronics. The powertrain was already, it's a Honda, so I'm not worried about the powertrain on it. Well, yeah, but the point is all those electronics. So I said to the guy, is it bumper to bumper? Yeah, okay. What's it going to cost me? He said, well, it's going to be about $60 a month more in your payment. I'm like, screw that, forget it. No, I won't keep the car that long. Just forget it. And which I won't probably. And the guy's like, let me go talk to my manager. He comes back, he goes, we'll discount the car the equal amount of the warranty, so it costs you nothing. And he goes, and it's prorated, so if you turn in the car early, you get money back. And I'm like, all right, then why wouldn't I do this? And then the dealer had a bunch of accessories they put on the car because they do it on all the cars that they put on the lot. And I was like, yeah, I don't want to pay for any of those. I didn't ask for them. And the guy's like, well, we put them all. Okay, so take them off. He goes, we can't remove the Scotch guard on the carpets. I'm like, but I didn't ask for it. Why would I pay for something I didn't ask for? It didn't, And he's like, all right, we'll take that off. I said, what's this trunk tray? Oh yeah, we put a tray in the cargo area. I'm like, I don't have a fucking tray in the cargo area. Take it out. He goes, if I leave it in, can I just discount it off? Yeah. He goes, wheel locks? I said, I'll pay for wheel locks. Window tint? How much do you guys get for window tint? $300. I go, it's 2 windows to tint because all the back's already tinted by the factory. I said, that's outrageous. I'll pay you half that. All right. He goes, is there anything else you want us to take off? I said, no, I think we're good now. I do the 3 years maintenance though, where I don't have to pay if I do oil changes and tire rotations. Because on the Honda Cure one, it includes all your filters, including your cabin air filter and all that stuff. And that's the kind of stuff they nickel and dime the crap out of you on if you don't have it. So $70-80 every time they want to do it, and I'm like, nope. So this way now I can just say, yeah, go ahead and do them. And the dealer doesn't care because they're getting paid either way. They're getting paid from from Honda because I bought the extended means. All right, so there's the little way over there. Okay. There is some stuff on this island, huh? It almost looks abandoned though, the way these buildings are. Very white beaches, that's for sure. Dedication to realism won't let me change weather modes. Part of me is wondering if I could get up above this layer and below that heavy layer up top, though. Like if I go up to 2,000 feet. I still wouldn't be able to see shit because they'd be in my way, so I guess I'll just leave it. It's too bad. It looked like it was clearing up for a while there. It must be to the east it's clearer. No, not now. If I remember right, when I was in the Bahamas, this is about the time of day that they always get a rainstorm. Yeah, Florida's the same. I was just gonna say Florida's the same way. Like 2:30, 3 o'clock, you go, yep, it's about time to rain. For 20 minutes it'll downpour and it'll clear right up. MYX-5 is landing runway 17 with a 4-knot crosswind, just so you know. So I'll probably turn a little bit right, maybe. Well, no, I'll stay on this course. It looks like I'll put me around on the red line, and then I can just turn into left fine. Just so you know, Bob, Dusty's flights are more exciting because he has mountains and stuff to fly around. I just do boring islands. Lots of blue. Although I was thinking about revisiting New England now that we're going to be hitting it in the spring and summer instead of winter. Plus, when Dusty and I did it before, it was before the scenery update. So I did have that thought about maybe doing that this summer. Someday is what we're gonna have. We're gonna have it someday. That's all I know. No definitive when. In the winter is weird. Like I'll fly somewhere and I'll be like, I know this should be snow cover, but because the temperatures are within a certain range, it goes, nope, there wouldn't be snow here. Or the temperatures in the cloud cover. It's not doing it smart. It's just kind of fudging it. Sometimes I fly and I'm like, wow, this is just the way it ought to be. And then other times I'll fly over that same area and I'll be like, no, there should be snow around here. I also don't like how roads are snow covered sometimes when the ground isn't. Or runways. Yeah, like, dude, airports have snow plows. They plow the runway. And they sand them and salt them. They're not going to have runways covered in snow. I've been flying over the top coast of Alaska. It's excuse me, sorry. And seeing a lot of that up by Barrow. Is it Barrows? The top up there? Yeah. That would work, because a lot of your little private fields or your more bush type fields probably would be snow covered, whereas Anchorage International We should have clear runways. I am getting some rain on my windows now. I think at this temperature I don't have to worry about icing. I'm showing 18 Celsius. Oh, private island we're going to be flying over. Great Stirrup Cay, NCL private island. Norwegian Cruise Lines. And then Coco Cay, which is a Royal Caribbean private island. Oh yeah. Yeah. Their own little private resorts. They pull the ship up and ferry people onto it. I've heard of that. I mean, why wouldn't they? Gotta have your own island. If the overcast situation is so bad I can't really see the runway well, then I may skip that little unpaved strip. Yeah, it looks like it is good. Looks like it'll be alright by the time we get there. Well, the waves, oh, it's 2:30, that's why I'm yawning. I'm always yawning this time of day. If I don't have some sort of caffeine in me and or I'm not busy, then yes, it becomes nap time. Never on work days though. Exactly what you're talking about. Yep. Yeah, I can, even if I do go quote unquote nap, snooze a little bit, I can do like 5 or 6 minutes of that, and it's like I took a 2-hour, almost as good as if I took a 2-hour nap. It just gives me that little bit of that jolt of energy when I wake back up. This looks like rain I'm about to fly through right here. Gorgeous outside here today. Not a cloud in sight. grass will start growing enough so it has to be cut again. Landscapers came by a couple days ago. I'm like, I don't even know what they're doing out there. Like, they ran mowers, and I'm like, there's nothing to mow. But they hadn't been here in 6 weeks, and I'm like, you know what? They gotta stay in business too. Let them do it. $35 every 2 weeks, it's worth it. And in the winter, they come like once every 4 to 6 weeks. In the middle of summer, it's every week. Well, not the middle of summer. The early summer and early fall, it's like every week. Middle of summer, it's too fucking hot. It doesn't grow enough with the sprinklers. Which I have to get inspected again because of that freeze we had. I don't know if there's any breaks in the lines. But hey, Texas has no more COVID. I don't know if you heard that. We beat it. It's gone. Completely eliminated. Yep. Nope. Nope, completely gone. No more COVID. Not only do we not have to wear a mask, the counties are not able to enforce their mask mandates. Because it was all handled at the county level here anyway. The state was just like, here's the guidelines. But not only did they pull the guidelines, they removed the ability for the states to prosecute businesses and individuals who break them, who do it. So the county can say you have to wear a mask, or else what? Or else we'll tell you again. Absolutely. Absolutely. Isn't everything a politician does about saving their own ass and not about the good of the people? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's complicated because they under-regulate here in that respect. And so what ended up happening was they said ERCOT, which is the regulatory organization, which is independent of the state government, they said, hey, this is what you need to do after the storm 10 or 12 years ago. And then ERCOT said to the energy companies, hey guys, you got to do this. But there was no or else. There was no penalty. There was no enforcement. It was just you need to do this, but it's up to you to do it. And now the state's going to say, you will do it, or else. You know? If you want to continue to provide power, you will do this. Yeah. X5, it's X5. Yeah, that's a 5. Yeah. Mike Yankee X-ray 5. Start my turn now. And that is Cistern K. Cistern K. And I am in rain. Oh, I just came out of rain. Is it? Is this a Perry? Is this a Perry doesn't want to land here runway? Oh. I'll do it. What the hell? It's long enough, right? I didn't look at that. Yeah, I can do that. I can do 2200. I bet I can do that without flaps, but we're not going to. Is that it on the east side of that, like, bay? Yeah, okay. I think I have it. I think I have the runway. Let's see where your tag is, so I'm going to go toward that direction. Gosh, if it wasn't for there being water in between, you could almost taxi to the other airport. Is that it I'm pointing to? Like right about now at my 12? That's not it? Yeah, I mean, I had it right for your name. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I would not have picked that out as a runway. Coming in super soft on this one. Like I usually come down with this plane at about 70. I'm going to try to come in at about 55 or 60. Which is just above stall speed. Ooh, 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 my spine. I'm sure you did too. We all know landings are not my thing. I get down in one piece. That's the big thing. That's the important part. Alright, taxi up. Yeah, it's definitely not a very well groomed airport, is it? It's about half the... Yeah. That's the part of Sky Park Dusty would like, is the coyote missions, I think, because a lot of those are very bushy. Yes. Yep. Oh shit, I just taxied right into you. I'm gonna roll out and get in the air. Oh shit, come on Perry, you can do better than that. Never mind. Yeah, it's pretty good. Basically, what the whole point of the Sky Park thing is to give you excuses to try and fly new places. That's kind of the way I view it. Yeah. Runway 13, by the way. So it's straight down. Yeah. It's right there. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the runway. It's a little bit of a cross for me. 9 knot. Oh, it is a tail. Huh. Interesting. I wonder if it's not on the ground though. I'm gonna find out. I'm going in. Yeah, you don't have much choice, but you could do head cross if you circle, which is probably better for you. Nope. But anyway, yeah, that's to me that's the thing that Sky Park does. Now, I unfortunately, because of years of flying sim, already had like literally a database built of all kinds of flights I wanted to do. So I don't use it as much as a lot of people for that reason. But like the UK tour, I really enjoyed. I'm going to do it again, and I'm going to merge UK Tour 2 into it rather than do it as a separate tour. Because Tour 2 starts and ends at Dundee, which is midway through the first one. Yeah, 259 at 9 knots, just so you know, Dusty. That's on the ground. Smart money would go your way, not the way I did it. I also just taxied on this like a street. Plus that puts you better for hitting the airstrip up here, because it's right at the other end of the runway. Not the airstrip, the FBO parking. All right, for those of you in Twitch land, I'm going to terminate the stream in just a few seconds here, as soon as I secure my parking brake. And we'll catch you again in a week or two.